In this episode, the most exciting Le Mans we've seen in years, and a bunch of NASCARs sliding around at Sonoma. Welcome to episode 228 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, this past weekend, we had the best Le Mans we've seen in the past 10 years.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was like the most exciting Le Mans.
But in the past 10 years, this is the best race that I've seen.
It's up there. Maybe the past 9. But yeah.
Yeah, it might have been way back in like the Audi Peugeot.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like 2013, 14, those were good too.
So this was the first year that we had convergence. We had the IMSA cars and the WEC cars in the top class.
In the top class, yes.
In the top class.
I'm going to say, not GT cars, but top class.
Which means we had a whole bunch of brands in the top class. We've talked about it for many weeks upon end. But I won't name them all. It was a fantastic race. It started. It rained. It was chaos. There was battles up and down the field on the last lap for the entire race. Oh, it was all I ever wanted.
It was, honestly, a fantastic Le Mans.
Yeah.
I actually kind of canceled my Sunday morning plans just to finish watching Le Mans.
I woke up at like 6 a.m. to watch the last 4 hours of that race. Or last 3. I had to see it.
Oh, yeah. I was up at like, I don't know, 6:15, 6:30. And I was like, I did have plans for breakfast, but that's not going to happen today.
No.
That's just not happening right now.
Yeah. It was epic.
Because, so exciting.
So, some notable things that happened. In the first lap, halfway through the first, not even halfway, a third of the way through the first lap, one of 3 Cadillacs in the top class stuffs it in the wall.
Yep. That
Mind
was,
you,
like, 58 seconds into the race?
It was under 2 minutes into that race, for sure. Mind you, it was drizzly, greasy, windy, not good conditions.
Yes, but this is the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
It's a 24-hour race.
You are a professional racing driver in the top class.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
No.
Is this the international version of when Chevy's GM stuffed it on the warm-up lap in the Corvette in IMSA?
Ooh. I don't know if it was that bad because they weren't under yellow. If they were in the pace car situation, yes, it would have been that bad. It was green flag. That car snapped on him. Did you watch the replay of that?
I did.
It was not savable.
No.
It was just straight to the wall.
He kind of looked like me on iRacing.
It was bad.
It was just like, and 100% throttle application now.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Yep. It just snapped. Which was kind of weird, but yeah, it was what it was. That was not by any means the worst driving standards in this race, though.
Correct. But I will say that did start the trend of a lot of yellow and safety car conditions.
Yeah. In total, this race had 3 hours of safety car.
Jesus!
Let's talk about that real fast, though, because this race had a different procedure for the safety car.
It did.
Traditionally at Le Mans, there were 3 safety cars that would deploy at the same time, and they'd all have their own train behind them, and there was the 3 different trains basically going around the racetrack. In this year, they wanted to do the Americanized version of that. Mm-hmm. And some Europeans were very upset about that.
Not some. A lot of Europeans were very upset about that.
Kind of reasonably so, but we'll come back to that, okay? This year, they brought out the 3. They kind of did the trains, got everybody to do their pit stops, and then clumped them all back up together. Mm-hmm. Took a long time, to be honest. It took a really long time.
Yes, but did it make for more exciting racing?
Yes. And it gave the scenario for teams to get laps back.
So, going back to our opening statement, was there maybe reasons why it was the most exciting Le Mans we've seen in years? Okay.
It was a combination of the hypercars, the convergence, the multiple manufacturers, the safety car situation. Right. Mm-hmm. It was multiple things, but it did lead to an amazing race. Yeah. So 3 hours of safety car, about 34 minutes of full course yellow, which is different than safety car. That's just everybody's going pit road speed around the whole track.
Pretty well.
And it's for cleaning up debris and whatnot. Yeah. And then we had 20 hours and 24 minutes of green flag racing of a 24-hour race. So almost 4 hours gone of different situations. But those situations were brought on by the drivers themselves or mechanical failures from the cars. This was not race control's fault. While it did rain, they let them race in the rain.
And I am so thankful for that.
I am too, and reasonably so. There was no lightning. There was no unsafe conditions.
Just rain.
Yep, it was just straight rain. It was hard rain, but it was just straight rain.
As Mr. John Hindhaugh would describe, a deluge of rain.
Yes, but made for some great
It
racing.
was bucketing.
At one point, it certainly was.
Yep.
And then it cleaned up or dried up, and it was fine.
And then you had that conversation of, who's going to be the brave one to go slicks first?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to come off of wets and go slicks? Because once you get a dry line, you can pick up some lap times. But if you take slicks and you put a step outside that dry line, uh-oh.
Yep. So I think we need to talk about this race from, let's do it a flip of where we normally do. Let's talk about the GT cars first.
Oh, okay.
Because the GT cars were kind of interesting in this race. A lot of them didn't finish. 12 of, I think, 22 in total.
Was it 22 or 21 maybe?
It might be 21. I don't remember. Oh, I think 21. Yeah, 12 of 21 did not finish this race. We had 9 finish. 9. So not only that, but the eventual winner, which, spoiler, it was the Corvette.
Yes!
Yes.
As much as I'm not a Corvette fan, I am happy to see that Corvette wins on their last year of Corvette racing even existing.
Right.
Plus, I just really like Ben Keating.
Ben Keating did do a good job. The point I want to make here, though, is that they crashed about 2.5 hours into this race.
Yes,
it
they
went
did.
down 2 laps. 2 entire laps at Le Mans they went down.
And without the safety car procedures, they would have had no chance winning this race.
No, not a bit. Not one
look
chance.
At that gorgeous Rexy.
Yep. They also had help from the rest of the field deciding to have mechanical failures, crash the cars, rain incidents with other prototypes, just in general. GT cars got beat up. They got really beat up.
They got hammered.
They did. Let's now talk about LMP2 because that came down to the wire.
Real quick, GT, I do have to make a quick mention. Great battle for second and third in GTEM.
Who was that between?
It was between I don't remember which Aston it was, but maybe TF Sport, I don't remember which one it was, and the pink Porsche, the Iron Dames, the all-female squad.
Right.
That was a brilliant battle for podium there.
Yep, I do like seeing 3 different manufacturers on the podium.
Oh,
always
wonderful.
Good. Super cool. In LMP2, there was a great battle all race, basically.
Yeah.
A variety of moments in the race where the LMP2 leader would just crash it or put it in the gravel or have a problem on the pit stop, and the lead would shift around to other people. But eventually, it came down to, what was the name of the team?
Inter-Europol?
Yeah, the Inter-Europol team.
Yeah.
With some drama near the end. Also with a driver that, to my knowledge, had a broken foot.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was one of them. I don't remember who it was in there, but finished with a broken foot. Yeah.
And
maybe Albert Costa? I don't remember.
To my understanding, if they had gone to x-ray the foot and the WEC had seen that it was a broken bone,
they would have yanked him.
They yank him.
Mm-hmm.
So he either gets out of the car and he's out for good,
Suck it up.
You suck it up and you drive through the pain. And he did.
And yeah.
That's wild.
That's a very hockey player-esque thing to do.
That is a hockey player thing to do.
It is NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and actually, as of release of this, they may have already been finished, but
could be.
I digress.
Right. Yes, so that was an awesome battle to watch till the end. Now, let's talk about the top class, the hypercar class.
Let's do it.
Oh, boy. Where do you want to start?
Do we want to start with the fact that the car that was designed for Le Mans didn't have a brilliant finish?
Sure. Peugeot.
Yeah, that's the one.
Let me go find one real quick. We got to come back to the NASCAR, by the way. But
we will come back to the NASCAR.
Yep.
Because that is a whole nother... Aha! The Le Mans-looking car, the wingless thing.
The car that should win Le Mans, just based on design alone.
And country of origin.
Yes, that also helps. They actually did surprisingly well, but then stuffed it in the wall at the end.
Until they didn't.
Yes. Yeah.
The leading Peugeot finished behind Glickenhaus. Behind both Glickenhauses.
To be honest, a lot of teams finish behind the Glickenhauses.
Fair. My favorite team, the best finisher of my favorite team, finished multiple laps behind both Glickenhauses.
Yeah, they had the shotgun approach too.
Yeah, I am peeved. I am peeved.
I couldn't believe it when I woke up and I looked at timing and scoring and went, they brought 4 Porsches and there's not one in the top 8. What is going on here?
Porsche didn't have a brilliant showing.
No, they had an awful showing.
The Porsche was piss poor. I mean, It was an absolute piss poor performance. It was, wow. So Porsche Penske brought out 3 cars. Porsche Customer Racing had the Hertz Team Jota car. So that is 4 Porsche LMDHs.
Right.
The leading Porsche finished many laps behind the leader. Let's see. So the leading Porsche finished 329 laps. The leader finished 342 laps. So that's a lot of a lap difference.
Yes. As far as why that happened, do you have an understanding? Because they had pace.
They had some pace. They didn't have pace to win. And I have a theory, and at risk of sounding like I'm bitching and moaning about BOP, I'm really honestly trying not to. But from my observation, realistically, one reason why I think Porsche didn't quite have the pace is because I think, at least what it shows, that BOP is favoring LMH cars over LMDH cars. Even just slightly. Not massively, but slightly. Because the leading LMDH car didn't even finish on the lead lap.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that without reason. I'm just saying, from where I'm standing, and I'm not saying it's a massive difference, but it just seems like BOP does favor the actual like in-house hypercar built cars versus the almost like spec hypercar, the LMDH cars.
I don't really think there's an argument for BOP when the best car was 13 laps down. Like, there was mechanical problems, driver error.
Fair. But realistically, I think that played a small role in the fact that they didn't quite have the pace to win, but also the fact that this car is just not ironed out.
No.
They haven't figured this car out yet.
Not at all.
Which is, I don't know. As a loyal Porsche fan, it does pain me to say this, but I think, and I'm going to sound like such a tinfoil hat cuckoo here, Porsche should scrap the program.
Ooh, I didn't see that take coming.
Yeah, Porsche should scrap it totally. I think Porsche had the wrong move in partnering with Penske.
Ooh.
When Porsche does things in-house, they do it very well. When Porsche decides to take a step and partner with someone like Penske, who seems desperate for a Le Mans win, you're going to get sucked into that desperation. I'm not saying Penske's not... Roger Penske is brilliant in his own right. I'm not taking anything away from him. I just think that if Porsche wanted a better chance to win this, they should have gone in-house instead of going for a partnership with Penske, as well as I think that the whole talk of the Porsche F1 program probably took some focus away from their LMDH program. So I feel like there's a lot of reasons why the Porsche 963, the LMDH car, just isn't there.
I don't know. Yeah, it's that might be a a very emotional reaction to what could be mechanical, simple engineering design flaws.
Could be.
I bet you next year they probably win the race, to be honest.
I hope so.
Because they're going to learn a lot from this.
I hope so, but they've, in the IMSA races and the WEC races, they don't seem to have learned much yet.
They've won an IMSA race.
Yes. Not an endurance race.
No, but they've won an IMSA race.
Okay.
There's one manufacturer out there that has not won an IMSA race yet.
Well, that's because they're ugly.
That's not.
That's just because they're ugly.
That's not a reason.
No?
No.
Okay.
Yes, it looked to me like it was all teething pains or driver error, to be honest.
Even when the Hertz team Jota car, they were leading the race for a bit, and Yiffy stuffs it in the Porsche curves.
Yeah, it was driver error.
He did the same thing that Michael Fassbender did.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of snap oversteer. I mean, you just kind of pinch it out a little bit, and instead of tracking out, taking the off track, and just live to fight another day, you say, okay, well, I'm just going to hold it and hope that the back doesn't step out and then go careening into the wall.
It's not easy. It's 24 hours.
You're right. It's not easy. I'm not saying it is. I'm not in the car, so I don't have shit room to talk here, but I'm just saying, I feel like you could have just opened the hands a little bit and just let track out. But, it's just me.
You're being this disgruntled old Porsche
I am being
fan.
a disgruntled. My leading Porsche finished like 1,000 laps back. I'm pissed.
Behind the Glickenhaus.
I am so damn pissed.
I saw an
behind
interview.
the Glickenhaus, behind a Peugeot, behind all the Ferraris and the Cadillacs and a Toyota. I am pissed.
The Radio Le Mans broadcast had an interview with Jim Glickenhaus, who has some fantastic takes on things. And they were like, hey, how's it going, Jim? And he's like, oh my God, have you seen the setup of Penske and Cadillac and Chip Ganassi? We spent more on our catering than we spent on engineering this car and bringing it here today. And I was like, oh my God. He just immediately started going after all the teams.
He's a wild man.
Yes.
And that's kind of why Glickenhaus is such a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I do love the Glickenhaus just because of Jim Glickenhaus being just such an absolute menace.
He just says his mind.
It's wonderful.
And it's entertaining as hell. Yeah.
It so is.
So
Glickenhaus has had a decent showing.
Yeah, Porsche had a rough one. That's fine. They'll get it sorted out. Glickenhaus had a good showing. They did have some crashes near the end of the race, which was a little unfortunate. They could have had possibly a podium, to be honest.
They actually had even not towards the end, but in the rain, they had the closest near miss I've ever seen.
With the Ferrari.
With the Ferrari that went 1 centimeter sliding sideways past their front bumper as they were sliding out in the rain.
At 1,000,000 miles an hour speed difference.
That would have been just utter destruction.
The video of the Cadillac doing the pirouettes in the wet.
Woo!
Oh, man. Yeah. I was pretty proud of what they did. Even what did they get, 6th and 7th in class?
Glickenhaus finished 6-7.
Yeah, that's pretty good for them.
But not only is that really good for them, that's really good for them in the first year when you have all the manufacturers in, when you've got your Porsches and Ferraris and you've got your Peugeots and everybody coming in.
Right.
That's really good for the pokey small little team from this side of the pond.
Super, super cool. I'm happy to see that for them. Cadillac had a solid showing, in my opinion.
They did.
A rough start, but a solid showing.
They did.
Yes.
Cadillac finished on the podium.
That's crazy.
Granted, a lap down, but podium finish nonetheless. So, you know what? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? The fans, from all what I've been hearing, absolutely adore the sound of the Cadillac.
Who doesn't?
How can you not?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
You heard it at the Rolex. You've heard it at Sebring.
It's so good.
It sounds so good.
It's so good.
Yep. So Cadillac had a good showing. Toyota, the favorite to win the race.
The one that I thought was going to win.
I did.
I thought... So, remember when we were talking about a preview of them all?
Mm-hmm.
The two teams that we thought were going to have the best chance ended up having the best chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Ferrari and the Toyota basically had the best chance to win this race. Now, most of the other teams either had mechanical problems, had problems on track, had driver error, had rain problems. And I will say these two cars that came out near the front were not clean.
Correct.
They had problems.
Yeah.
They had many issues. All the cars across this top class.
Every car had issues.
That's why I don't really think that you can say BOP yet, because
you're right, but
every team had problems. So
yes, I'm not blaming the losses on BOP, but I'm just saying they attributed.
Yeah, you could argue. Have you heard the argument from Toyota? They got handed a 37-kilogram addition the week of Le Mans to their car.
Yes, and they were still one of the fastest on track.
Yes, they were. Certainly.
So they can shut up.
But if you want to complain BOP, they have a way better argument than Porsche does at the moment.
Yeah, there's that. Yes.
Yes. Toyota looked good, but they were not perfect.
What happened to one of the Toyotas?
Which one?
The blowed up one.
The 7 in the middle of the night got ran over by a Ferrari. Did you see that?
I saw a highlight because I was asleep at that point.
That was one of those driver standards moments that were like, oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
That's not good. This is Le Mans. We're supposed to have the best racing drivers in the world here. And there was a Ferrari that went into a yellow flag zone at 1 billion miles an hour and like ran over the Toyota. Like the car popped up in the air. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I think that put, was that the, yeah, that put the 7 out of contention. I think it broke the drive shaft.
It was dead.
Yeah, it was toast. So now they were basically down to the 8 Toyota, which did have a really, really good battle to the end of this race.
A very good
with
battle.
The Ferrari.
Yeah. And it was a very good battle up until like the last 30 minutes.
Right.
When he actually spun it.
Did you see the Brendan Hartley stint where he was clawing back time on that Ferrari?
Yeah. And he was nomming time.
He was a monster.
I mean, he was just every corner shaving like 6/10. Every corner.
It looked about 2.5 hours remaining in this race like Toyota was going to have the pace advantage and be able to overtake the Ferrari to win this race.
Can I make a statement? Toyota, why did you put Ryo Hirakawa in to finish the race?
That's my question as well.
When Brendan Hartley got out of that car, which, I mean, he left a blazing trail behind him, why didn't you go to the veteran of Sebastian Buemi?
I don't know.
I think if Sebastian Buemi would have been in that car, they would have won.
I think you're probably right. But they chose Hirakawa. Brendan Hartley got out of the car. Hartley could not have run that race to the end. He was out in drive time alone.
Oh, yeah, he was done.
Yeah, it wasn't possible via the rules for him to do that. So they had to go to someone. I'm surprised they put in Hirakawa. Yeah. And when they did put him in, you heard Hartley come on the radio and say, be aware going into Indianapolis and Arnage of the rears locking under braking.
Yep.
And that's the exact scenario that played out and lost them the time.
Was he into Arnage?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Hirakawa came in exactly like Hartley called it. Rears are locking. Sure enough, a little too much brake pressure. Rears locked. Snapped on him. Stuffed it.
It was clear as day. Driver error.
Oh, there was no one around him.
No.
He was on his own.
Yep. It's clear as day, driver error. And if that didn't happen, this would have been an immensely close race to the end. And honestly, Toyota would have won it, considering what happened after that.
Yeah. I really honestly think they would have, especially because of Ferrari's last pit stop.
Right.
Because Ferrari, throughout the race, they had another problem getting the car refired after a pit stop. I mean, they couldn't get the car cranked on.
I do like that they have that rule in the WEC that is you must turn the car off, fuel the car, and turn the car back on right after every pit stop. Yeah. That is super cool. I don't think that you have to do that in IMSA.
Not to my knowledge.
No, you can keep the car running in IMSA, which is a bit different. But having the starters have to work for 24 hours is pretty neat.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ferrari did take home the win.
Forza Ferrari! Grazie!
Man.
Wow.
Ferrari wins Le Mans.
After 50-year break of not racing top-class racing, Ferrari comes back. The first year after they've been out for 50 years, comes back, takes the win at Le Mans. Now, how bad are Sainz and Leclerc punching air right now?
Leclerc was there. He saw it happen.
He was. His face looked a little bittersweet, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Because when they panned over to a shot of him, you could see he's like, congratulations. God damn it. Why can't I do this?
Why can't my Ferrari be that good?
Oh, but you know what? Good on him. Well done, Ferrari. I am so happy to see that it wasn't a Toyota.
Yes.
That was wonderful.
I will say, the way it was playing out, I would not have been that upset if the 8 car won it. Because it was going to be a dogfight to the end, and it wasn't a 3-lap advantage in a boring race.
Correct.
So, yes, I'm relatively happy that Toyota didn't win, but I was just stoked that it was a race to the end.
God, it was.
Yeah.
And then that drama on that last pit stop for Ferrari. They had, what was it, like a 2.5 minute gap to the Toyota. They came into pit. Ferrari wouldn't fire back on after their pit, and you're seeing that that gap go 2.5 minutes, 2:08.
Yep.
1:58.
Just falling.
147. They're like, oh my God, please snow. And finally you see the lights turn on. Oh, Jesus. Holy cow.
You know, those Ferrari pit bosses with their heads on the pit wall were just like, oh God.
What do we do? Something.
Not again.
Anyone do something.
Oh, no. Yeah.
One more notable. We need to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Raise hail, praise Dale, baby.
The NASCAR.
Yes. Garage 56.
Yep. There it is.
What is your take?
I don't know what to think about this. The fans loved it, clearly.
How can you not? Did you hear the clips of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you see the memes of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Did you see the picture of all the cars on the grid with all the hypercars? And then you have the Camaro ZL1 hiding in the midst of it? It was the biggest thing in the world. It was amazing to see. It was the big boy M8 meme in real life.
There you go.
It was amazing. There it is. Look, it's towering over everything else.
I love how they put it specifically in the prototypes, too.
It was perfect. It was so perfect because it stood out above everyone.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. From a fan perspective, yes, great. Made loud noises, looked really cool. It was awesome. But what was the point?
Marketing. Eyeballs.
Is it?
Yes, I think it is. I think it's eyeballs for two reasons. Reason one, I think it's eyeballs for Europeans to start watching NASCAR because they're going to hear that and go, oh shit, that sounds good. I like that. But then I think it's also eyeballs for like IMSA people to start going, oh wait, NASCARs can race road courses too. And then I also think it was eyeballs for NASCAR folks to say, wait a minute, there's also road course racing that's pretty exciting, and it's in IMSA, which is in the U.S., which I actually know these tracks and these locations. Oh.
I think you're right. I think it's marketing, and you know why I really think it's marketing? Did you see who flew the French flag to start the race?
Yes.
Who was that?
Oh, God. It was LeBron James.
LeBron James started
Why?
the 100th running, 100-year anniversary of it. Whatever. We'll come back to that. He was the one that started the race.
Why did they pick him?
Marketing.
He has nothing to do with Le Mans. He's a great athlete. No disrespect there. What are you doing?
What do you mean? What market have they not penetrated yet for motorsports?
Basketball?
In general, that market, right?
Sure.
Why would you not go for that?
Because it was just weird.
I agree. Odd, but clearly a marketing play. There's no other reason to have him start that race.
Oh, it was 100% marketing and money.
Yeah, he's not... to my knowledge, he's not
Did
much
he even
of a
watch the race, or did he just fly home?
I don't know. I would assume he watched it. I don't know. I know that Michael Jordan is a racing fan. He has a team in NASCAR.
Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
So... you can penetrate that market. You can get those guys on board with the racing stuff. You know what it did? It got social media talking about him starting Le Mans and having a NASCAR at Le Mans. Okay.
It did.
So that was the whole point. And yeah, it's cool. What happens next is really fascinating because
You're right. To talk about what might happen next. Yeah. One of our local social media superstars, Mr. Cletus McFarland himself, he posted something on his Facebook about how he posted a picture of the Garage 56 NASCAR and said something like, this is the most of Le Mans I've ever watched in my life. And the comments showed a resoundingly similar response. All of the standard Cletus fans of drag racing and NASCAR, all of a sudden... they started to tune in to the WEC, to the WEC, and go, wait a minute, what's this? Do tell.
That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole point behind this and getting LeBron to start this race.
I think it worked.
I think so. To my knowledge, it did. Now, talking about even more forward as to what will happen next, the Radio Le Mans broadcast, which that's the one that you should listen to if you're going to watch this race, had Mr. John Doonan on, as they traditionally do. In these long endurance races, kind of the middle of the night, they'll bring John Doonan, which is the head of IMSA, which is the American version of this series. Basically.
Which is owned by...
NASCAR.
Correct.
Yes. He came on, and they asked him point blank, like, what do we do with this thing next? Is there a world to get this NASCAR into IMSA? Can we get it more in the WEC? And he kind of just said, we'll see. He didn't say no, but he didn't say yes. So ideas are floating around out there. People are talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any specific rumors, but ideas are, as you'll see in a few upcoming episodes, things are changing in the format of Le Mans soon, and there could be a slot available for a class specifically for this kind of car soon. We'll see if that happens in IMSA or WEC or something like that.
Or I've also heard rumors of creating almost like an American V8 supercars.
That could be cool as well.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect it's not the last time we see this car on a racetrack.
Correct. Here's a hypothetical.
Okay.
How cool would it be if IMSA did an innovative class for the Rolex?
That'd be neat.
See this Garage 56 car racing the Rolex against the LMDH, the GTPs, and around the Daytona where they are on the high banking but don't do much road course.
If they're going to do it, all the NASCAR people that I talked about that asked me about this, they were saying, why didn't they bring a Toyota and a Chevy and a Ford and let them all race each other, right? One from each manufacturer. And I was like,
great.
Would be awesome, but then you got to get BOP and standards, and you have a full class at that point. It is a competitive class at that
Correct.
point,
Yep.
which is different than a Garage 56 roll where it's just, you're going to win your class. You're the only one in it. It's just out there for show. It's a fan favorite. It doesn't matter how you do.
It's just, can you do it, yes or no?
So will we ever transition? Do you think we will transition from being a class, from it being a fan favorite, to an actual class in the future?
My honest answer, I don't think it will, but I want it to.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. If it's going to race at Daytona, I feel like it has to be a class, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you have to have... but I don't know. I please don't let dreams be dreams. Please just do it.
Let memes be memes.
Yes, let memes be memes. God, the memes that have come out have been fantastic.
Oh, they've been really
Big
good.
boy M8, mate. God, it's just been brilliant memes coming out of the Garage 56 NASCAR.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I don't know where this goes in the future. We don't have for sure what it's going to happen, but very well done by NASCAR. Honestly, very well done by the WEC. A great race. Get ready. We're going to talk a lot more about where this series goes in the future in some of the next upcoming episodes here, because there's a lot of news that came out and some big changes are happening and some interesting conversations.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to talk about next week and the week after and all that.
Indeed.
So, does that kind of wrap up our Le Mans talk?
That's definitely the end of Le Mans.
Okay, for now.
For now. Yes.
Now, there was another race that did happen this past weekend. It was a NASCAR race. It was more than just Garage 56. It was actually another NASCAR race on a road course.
I wonder how many people were more enthralled with the WEC NASCAR race versus the NASCAR road race.
You mean like how many NASCAR fans were actually watching
Le
Mans
versus... Don't know.
Bet
They were
you
at
lunch.
different time points, right?
Yeah.
It was Sunday after Le Mans, but
True.
still, yes, they did have NASCAR at Sonoma.
Yes, they did.
Based on watching the highlights and watching like the last 2 laps in real time, these cars are so goofy to watch, man, on a road course.
I adore it.
Oh, it's fantastic. But they just slide so much. It's crazy.
They look like such a handful.
They look terrible to drive.
Every time I see an in-car of these guys coming around a couple corners, it is just what a menace to drive. I mean, just back and forth. Just don't kill me, please.
Mm-hmm. Which is the magic of these cars, to be
Yes.
honest. It's the fun part about them.
Yeah.
They eat curbs, no problem. Doesn't matter. If you touch those in a prototype, you die. But if you just nom them in this, doesn't matter. It's totally fine. And
Off track doesn't exist.
Nope. You just run over all the curbs and go as far out wide as pavement exists. Doesn't matter.
It's wonderful.
Super exciting, actually, to watch some of the racing that's happening because they're on the limit the whole time.
I'll be honest. The quality of racing with NASCAR at Sonoma was amazing.
It's really good.
Like, there were some real heavy side-by-side battles with some big... I mean, that was just good quality racing.
It's really good.
I mean, even your average Formula One fan is going to look at that and go, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. It's super cool. Super cool. Do you have the results as to who took down the win?
Well, what do you know? I actually do.
Okay.
So top 3 at Sonoma. Third place, you had Joey Logano in a Ford. Second place, Kyle Busch in a Chevy. First place, Martin Truex Jr. in a Toyota. So Martin Truex Jr. takes the win at Sonoma.
Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff over this past weekend in the racing world. But this coming weekend, so starting, tomorrow and Sunday, we have some races to chat about. There's going to be F1. They are back. The Canadian Grand Prix is coming up this weekend, as well as IndyCar. They're racing at Road America. That'll be exciting to watch, too. Then SRO, they are also racing at VIR, Virginia International Raceway.
Sweet.
So 3 good races, all road course stuff. NASCAR's taking a little break this weekend.
Yes, they are. But F1 is back. It's funny that F1 takes a break over the Le Mans weekend.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
Yeah, they do.
Well, good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all the news for racing that I've got. Do you have anything else?
I do not.
It's going to wrap us up then for episode 228. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment on this video. Let us know what you thought about Le Mans. What did we miss? What did you catch? Etc., etc. If you're listening on audio only, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.